It may not be able to prove it legally or whatever else, but it proves it to anybody with a fucking functional brain between their heads. But see, it's not that my meds. I woke up and there was the evening dose of Suboxone and the evening dose of Ativan that was not taken. So the only thing that made me go to sleep hard like that, other than environmental regular factors, could have been the edible. And I'm not just talking about one piece of something here. I'm talking about a package of, one time it was a package of 8 Reese's cups. Another time it was a package of Pawpaw fruit gummies, raspberry gummies, green apple gummies. And each time, some containers were 200 milligrams, some 100 usually. But the biggest dose was the Fireball gummies. I took that in 2 doses of 500 milligrams because each one of those gummies were literally about $100. And they came, each gummy had basically 100 milligrams in one little circular gummy. And, so that's 1,000 for 10. And when I tell you those things are deliciously addictive, like, there's no wonder I overdosed on those. You can overdose on edibles, but not to the point that you're, the only way that, and it would be a wild chance, is if I took an edible and somehow in the event of being asleep, which an edible obviously doesn't produce that much sleep, because what happened? I woke up. Every time I went to sleep on live recently, I've woken up somewhere along the line because I'm not in a fucking narcotic haze. Those times I woke up and ended the live, I stayed up for another 4 or 5 hours before going back to bed again. I just wish people didn't think of me as a drug addict or a junk box. But until I can get my legs stronger and I can go through like advanced neuroregulation and not have to go through any of the withdrawal, because see, the withdrawal compounds the chronic pain issue. So it makes it almost a nightmare for me to think about getting off of Suboxone. I have thought about it. I've thought, what would it be like if I was off of it different? And so far, the only thing I can tell that would be different is I'd be sick and I'd feel, and my pain would be 10 times up. Now, the pain clinic will more than happily give me a set of Percocets or whatever else, as long as I get off the Suboxone and wait 3 months. I don't want to do that. The Suboxone, I have researched Suboxone the last few years about it and chronic pain and everything, and how it's been a miracle for people that had chronic pain and the addiction issue and stuff. And look, if one of your attitudes is Well, I have pains too, but I just grunt through it and I got off mine. Well, that's good for you, but don't try to push that shit on me. Not everybody is going to use the same fucking method and plan. No, I haven't tried the shot thing once a month. I wouldn't want to do that because my pain being every day and all the time, I need the immediate release formulation because that's one of the primary ways I help treat it, other than elevating it, stretching it, and doing things like that. Is I'll take Tylenol. Um, I'll wake up, like for instance, I woke up at 3 and I waited till about 6, and that's when I took my first one. And, like, I wait until after the pain starts and gets to hurting for a little bit. And then when it really starts coming on, that's when I take it. And then the rest of the day, pretty much when it hits hard again, is, and sometimes it'll do that 30 minutes or 40 minutes until it's time to take the dose. And yeah, sometimes it can be tempting to want to go ahead and pop it and take it. But the time difference and the way the drug works and the half-life and everything, so you grunt through and you bear it. And that's how I've always been able to maintain, never run out of medicine. Like I'm actually glad that, I had a little bit of acid reflux when I first took the strips again, but it wasn't that bad. And if I have to, I'll just drink some uh, calcium bicarbonate or whatever, um, a seltzer or something, because I'd rather be on it than be on Subutex, because then people can have the suspicion that, oh, he can abuse that technically. Can't abuse the strip. And if I can, I don't want to know how. Exactly. Everyone has different pain tolerance and stuff. And these people, they want to be held and get respect and praise for being the ones to save me. But the fact that they thought they were going to be able to do that by trolling me this severe and extreme is crazy. Maybe one other person, one in 100 out there, would have led into their demands. But they picked the wrong guy for that. I am not easily deterred. And you're not going to force your concepts and your views and how you assess the world onto me. You're just not going to do that. And that's what these people try to do all the time, subliminally. And in a different scenario, like if I wasn't getting the meds and didn't have any past injuries or wrecks. I mean, they posted literal proof of the article of my wreck. And hell, there's not an article, but there was a whole nother wreck too. So, you have all that proof, like, but I mean, you're still gonna say, oh, I'm faking it, or I'm just, Now, in a different situation, if I was just getting them, just for the sake of getting them, then yeah, I could see I could see them being angry with me. But not my situation. No. Don't look at me like that. You had 2 pieces of hamburger. You gave me 2 pieces. You getting fat, boo boo boo. You know you getting fat. Yeah, boo boo's getting fat. Yes, he is. You said you weighed 13 pounds last year, and this year I was like, well, shoot, he's at least at 15 now. Putting on them pounds. It's all that human food you've been eating. I mean, and trolling and enlighten. If I've got it wrong, like, please tell me I got it wrong. But I mean, it just seems like I feel like you told them like what along the lines Workyverse would have wanted you to say, and or you told them along the lines of what you thought just because, and I don't know, but you know what we talked about. I'm not trying to talk a lot about it. I'll wait to text you. Please don't be mad at me. Y'all got to understand with all this this added stress and people pretending to be cool and not, it has made me very untrusting of everybody online, especially. And I don't mean to come off that way or be rude, but sometimes there's just too many coincidences there that fit, and I can't force my left brain to not look at it. And, I meant everything I said to troll in the Workyverse. If he would expose the Workyverse, and I don't mean expose their identities and do them like me. I mean, you can do that. It needs to be done so people can file lawsuits and stuff against these people. But aside from that, just so you can expose them, like, I'm just hoping to God he'll come across a conversation where they talk and they openly talk about how they don't give a shit and why they're really doing all this or something along those lines. I'm just praying that he gets a hold of that. Trolling, I mean, I do have, a little bit of funds that if we needed to spend something or whatever to be able to get something from somebody, we could make it worth their while. I mean, I ain't gonna talk about potential figures or nothing on here, but if people could help me find who Filthy is, because that guy, he's called my aunt everything. He's gotten my family out of sorts at me. Like, I want to, at the very least, if I can't get him prosecuted, I want him sued. I want him sued. I want to, if he's got a job, I want to know it. And I like everything he has promised to do to me, I will do back on him tenfold. But, I can't do that because I don't know anything about him, who he is or nothing. Now, here's the thing, guys, with me stopping the YouTube lives. If they stop their bullshit, I don't expect them to take any of their vids down. But if they stop their bullshit, then that's great. Because then what's going to happen is when I get my certificate and everything and I get employed, the very first thing I'm going to do after I'm done the first day or whatever, or right before I start, is I am going to resurface and I'm going to show everybody how I'm coming along and how I'm doing. And when Brownie gets his final certificate and everything of training done, I plan to show it. And what I plan to do, if they still follow me around and I can't escape them, what I'll do is I will get my P test that are sent off to the lab each time I go in. I will get my P test results, the levels where they check the drug, and I will bring that, redact the sensitive information, and show the results. And show where it shows that I'm taking the effective therapeutic dose. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. And then if you still think I'm an addict, well then fine. But you're an idiot. Unless you view, see, there's the thing. Some people view addiction as being everything. No matter what you do, if you do it repeatedly, you're addicted to it. But when we're talking about addictions in the sense of drug addictions, you also have medical required drug dependence. When a medication is required, like insulin or pain med or Parkinson's drug, diabetes, etc., that the person, the doctor, and everyone's fully aware from the get-go that they plan on getting that they're going to get dependent on that stuff. The problem is if there's ever a diversion or misuse from the prescribed plan. That's where the problem comes in. So could someone be a theoretical legal addict, someone that goes to a doctor and gets a prescription, but every month takes what they want or sells some of their stuff? Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen and known people in the past that did it. Mostly older people. I never did that. I never sold anything. But I do know people that did it. And part of me wishes that, not just for my sake, but for the Miss Hogan, the Hogan side that wreck didn't occur that day. I could have finished my semester then and gone to work a lot sooner rather than later, and I maybe wouldn't have developed all these issues and stuff, but it is what it is. Life deals you what it deals you. But I don't intend to be these people's punching bag anymore. They've made me so angry and distrustful of humanity. They've made me seem the worst of people these last few months, telling me to pull a trigger when I don't even have a trigger, but I mean, if I had it though, seriously, Filthy Animal told me to go ahead and pull it. Who knows? What if? What if I did? What if I'd got broken down so bad that I just had done that? It's kind of too late to say I told you so. But I would never do that because I learned from my first experience of almost taking my life that that was not only a very unselfish and it was in other words, it was a way. It hurt. I saw that it would have hurt other people besides just the fact that it's hurting me or whatever, and it's really selfish, especially when you have family or loved ones, when you think about it in some respects. But when you're there in that mindset, which I was January the 19th of 2019, it just kind of takes over. And I was in so much pain. And I was begging for them to give me more pain meds. And the doctor came over and, he basically told me he said, I need you to be honest with me so I know how I can treat you. He's like, what's your daily use? And I told him. He's like, okay, now I can fix your pain meds. And I was like, thank God. But that was back when I was in active addiction. And when they came down there and they asked me, was I wanting to sign a discharge plan for outpatient, at first I had thought and was about to do it. And they're like, are you serious? They're like, look what just happened. And they're like, you don't think you maybe need? I said, no. I said, no, you guys are right. I said, whatever I need. I said, I was like, please help me and I'll do it. And so I took their recommendation and I went to a psychiatric place and went to a 2 week like detox, or I think it was a first a week detox type place, and then you had another 2 to 3 week intermediary place where you got put on maintenance treatment and stabilization. Or no, they did that during the detox, never mind. But then you have the 2 to 3 week phase, the stabilization phase, where they keep you in while you're adjusting and you do group and stuff. And then you have the more longer term inpatient that goes for a few more months up until the point where you graduate. And that's what I did. I graduated in July, and then I went on to work the rest of the year. And I learned to adjust to living my new lifestyle. And I've kept it since that time, since I've come back home. And other than lowering my dose of Ativan, which was alright, I don't see anything else I need to do in the near future besides stop smoking cannabis, because I can't do it and be a healthcare worker. My grandpa's not left alone. Trust me. So, Trolling the Workyverse, Ghost of Shadows, Hawaii, everybody, appreciate you coming by. Buttery Mama and Trolling the Workyverse, please get with me privately to, if you can, answer the questions and stuff I talked about and posed today. Alright, everybody, have a good rest of the day. Peace. Ian out. See ya.